I appreciate your time today, bro. I appreciate you stopping by to the show. You know, mainly want to see what you're up to, man. We know you got your school out there in Hawaii. That's the one thing. You being one of the most recognizable and popular mixed martial artists on the planet, you know, we kind of want to know what's up with you right now, man.
Oh, man, you know, just focusing on my school, focusing on training, you know, staying healthy. You know, I had some problems with my last fight that came up, so, you know, I did a little time in the most nicely furnished jail in the world, kind of taking care of some of my issues. So, you know, things are good for me right now. Actually, I feel better than I ever have. You know, gave the body a chance to actually heal instead of just trying to train on top of the injuries that kept stacking up on me. So, you know, I've been really taking care of my body, eating right, you know. And then, you know, also my gym and my fight team. I got a bunch of amateur fighters out here, so it seems like I'm at fights every weekend cornering guys.
Now, you mentioned it like this. You got your school going on. You're out there. You're training fighters now on how to smash cats. You know, it's one of your old quotes you used to use back in the day. Tell us about it. Leben Fight School. Tell us a little bit about that, man.
Well, you know, right now we're located in Park Valley, on Honolulu, Hawaii. I've been here for about 3 years. We're just outside of Waikiki. It's really, coaching really is my passion. You know, I think I'm actually a better coach, believe it or not, than a fighter. I think it's probably because the only thing faster than my hands is my mouth, if you know what I'm saying. So, you know, I've got some great coaches here, and you know, we run a pretty good ship. I mean, we've got kids classes, grown-up classes, you know, kickboxing, jiu-jitsu. We've got the work 7 days a week, and you know, for me, it's really about, you know, I really like working with people. I really like, you know, we had a couple of kids come in last year, 2 friends. They both lost 60 pounds over the course of the year. They were actually doing pretty bad in school. My wife was helping them with their homework after they trained, so they ended up not dropping out like they planned. They've joined the wrestling team. They got girlfriends, you know, now. And, you know, it's stuff like that, you know, that you see that, you know, because you know, it's really noticeable. You know, these billionaires give away $1 million, but do they really notice it? You know, I really enjoy, you know, working with people one-on-one. And, you know, that's really what the fight school's about.
Chris, you mentioned your wife there. I have to give Mrs. Leben a shout-out. You're recently married. I want to know, how's the married life treating you?
Oh, it's good, man. It's fantastic. You know, she's my best friend. You know, as well as my wife, and you know, we're a team. You know, she stood by me through a lot. You know, God knows I fucked up. You know. Oh, can I say that? Shoot.
Oh yeah, you're good, man. Don't worry about it. You're good.
Sorry. God knows I've messed up, you know, more than once, and she's always stood by me. You know, she's a real soldier. You know, I love her to death, and you know, honestly, you know, we really can't be separated. We're together 24 hours a day.
Well, you're newlyweds. I've been with the same woman 14 years. No, she seems like a great woman. Again, I have to give her a shout-out and thank her for arranging this interview with us today. Now, Chris, you know, I just have to ask you this, man. I know you're focusing on training and helping these kids. You know, you're again, one of the most popular and best fighters out there in the world. Amidst all the trouble from the past, man, are you focusing also on getting back into the octagon?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. I mean, honestly, you know, when I've never really fought at 100%, you know, both physically and mentally. You know, I definitely, some fight camps have been better than others. My last fight camp being one of the worst. Just for me, I was going through a lot of stuff with, you know, with my coaches and with some of my training partners that was going on. So, you know, I had a lot of issues, and I really let it get to me, you know. And now, you know, I've been working a lot. Believe it or not, you know, I'm going to counseling. You know, I'm taking the steps that, you know, I really need to be, you know, in order to progress, not just as a fighter, but as a person. And I'm noticing that's reflecting in my training. It used to be, you know, I'm a everything in excess, nothing in moderation kind of guy. So it used to be, you know, either I was out partying to the maximum, and then when I got a fight coming up, I would just clean up, diet super hard, and, you know, and then just train, you know, way past with the amount that I should be training. And my body's kind of paid the price definitely for that lifestyle. And now, when I don't have a fight so close, I'm able to to kind of train, rehab. I am getting a little extreme with my dieting. I think it's just kind of my nature, So I'm just going crazy about watching what I eat. But it's I really feel like having this time off is really going to benefit me. To give me a chance to reflect, work on things in my life. So that I'm not, when I start my camp, I'm not coming in completely out of shape and off a party cycle. I'm coming in already healthy, already in good shape, and my weight, already, in relatively decent range. I'm not coming in freaking out, and then having to cut, all my calories out completely, from day one, which is what I've done in the past. I'm really, I'm trying to take it down slow, and do things the right way.
And, and I said it a few times here, and I'm not trying to stroke you that much, but, you are one of the best fighters, one of the most popular fighters, not just in the UFC, but in MMA. The one thing that has eluded you was a shot at a world title in the UFC, the middleweight title. And I wanted to get your thoughts. Is that still your goal? And your current thoughts on the landscape. What do you see when you get back inside that octagon? I know you're a guy who will fight anybody, anytime, but who are some of the guys out there that's going to get you to that goal? And what's the current landscape looking like for you?
Honestly, that truly is a goal of mine, and I'm realizing, how much better I am now, with sobriety, how much better, I'm fighting. I mean, honestly, I'm coming to the gym and my head is clear. And I'm smoking guys. And, I'm realizing, geez, maybe, that short amount of time that I cleaned up those last couple of weeks wasn't enough. And, I'm realizing that, I don't think that I've tapped into my full potential in any way. What I do sometimes, in the room, when I'm grappling with top guys or when I'm sparring with top guys, what I'm doing now in the room is in a lot of ways better than a lot of my performances in the UFC. And I think people are going to be really surprised next time I get in there, at my skill set, and what I'm capable of. So, absolutely, I am aging, but, I don't think I'm past my prime in any way. I'm 31 right now, look at Dan Henderson. I still got a lot of good years in me. And, fighting is one of my true passions in life. And absolutely, there's no way I'm giving it up. I don't think I could if I wanted to.
Chris, I'm not going to take too much more of your time. My co-host, Tim Cutchess, he has a question for you. Tim.
Hey, Chris. Well, first off, I want to just say that, I'm not the biggest MMA fan, but I am definitely a Chris Leben fan. You're one of the few fighters I tune in to watch. But I just had two quick questions. One being, you had a lot of great, exciting performances. What do you feel was your favorite performance?
There's a lot of them. For me, the knockout over Terry Martin, I think, for me, when I look back and I look at a lot of my wins, I've had a lot of, where I was almost out, where I came back from being, a sure thing, the guy had the win in the bag. But, truthfully, my favorite performance, it was, my fight with Aaron Simpson. He was undefeated at the time. He'd beaten some tough guys, and everybody was saying he was the next big thing, and I think that, really I was the one that stepped in and, kind of stopped that train and slowed that momentum down for him. When I look back and I watched the fight, I executed my game plan, just perfectly, it was, and it was a technical win. It wasn't, I beat him on every aspect. It wasn't, like with Vanderlei Silva, where I went out and just knocked him out, and then everybody goes, oh, Chris lands another lucky shot. Yeah, so that's probably, one of my best performances in my mind. Having said that, I am tired of people saying I landed another lucky shot. How many times can you be lucky, man?
Best hands in MMA. Chris, I thought you were going to say Vanderlei Silva. but the best hands in MMA. And, you know, Tim and I were joking. We were like, hey, maybe we should see if we can manage Chris in a boxing career. Now, that's just a joke there, but the best hands in MMA, I have to say, man.
Thank you.
You just sit there, and don't get me wrong, and that's no disrespect to your groundwork and everything like that, man, but you just sit there, and it's bad intentions. And us being boxing fans as well as fans of yourself and mixed martial arts, when we see you in that ring, and I'm speaking for Tim as well because we've had this discussion before we talk with you, is when you sit there and you're throwing them hands, you're throwing with bad intentions. And I got to give you props for that because that's one of the things that make your fights and mixed martial arts exciting in general.
Well, thank you. You know, I get a lot of criticism because, you know, maybe I'm not the, you know, I don't have these, you know, these front kicks that are beautiful, and I don't look the prettiest out there doing it. But I think sometimes the fans and the critics forget fighting ain't pretty. Fighting's not supposed to be pretty. It's what's effective and what works. And, you know, in my mind, absolutely. When you have 4-ounce gloves on, every punch is thrown with bad intentions. I mean, we don't have 12 rounds to pepper a guy with our jab, you know. Get in and get the job done. Go home.
Absolutely. Tim, go ahead, man. You had another question.
Yeah, I just have one more quick question. Now, you've had a ton of fights. What fighter, win or lose, would you want to rematch with the most?
What fighter, win or lose, would I want to rematch? You know.
Yeah. Whether you won or lost against them.
You know, well, right now the one obviously that's sticking in my head pretty good is the Munoz fight. You know, I just, you know, I mean, my hat's obviously off to him, you know, but you know, I was not myself going into that fight, not before, you know, and then not after. You know, I had a lot of things going on, and you know, I'd like to, you know, I feel that I'm a better fighter than he is, and you know, I went in and I handed over a victory to him, and you know, it's actually, I mean, it's embarrassing, you know, it really is, you know, I really feel bad. I really feel like I let the fans down, you know, and so it'd be nice to be able to go in and, you know, get a little redemption, reteam myself a little bit, you know. I mean, of course, that's, you know, that's how it goes. It is what it is. We all have our wins and our losses, you know. And, I mean, it's a great question, but the truth is, you know, you just have to realize there is no time machine in real life. You know, you can't go back. I can only look forward, you know, and so that's what I'm doing now. And obviously it's, you know, when the time comes, whoever the UFC puts in front of me is going to be my opponent. And, you know, if I get that Munoz fight, then that's great. If I don't, then that's, you know, that's great too.
Chris, finally to close this out, man, we appreciate your time. www.christhecrippler.com. Can we find more about the Chris Leben Fight School in Hawaii or at that website?
Yes, absolutely. Check it out.
And at Crippler UFC on Twitter. Hit him up on Twitter. Tell him you heard him on the show, and let him know you love this interview and you love us.
Yeah.
He should consider us manage him in his boxing career someday, somewhere down the line.
Yeah, yeah, actually, the Twitter thing, man, I finally started doing that. I mean, the UFC's been pressing me for years. I think I tweeted once, you know, these hands are made for smashing, not tweeting, you know. But in all seriousness, it's pretty fun, you know. I'm kind of kicking around the idea of changing my gym name, and I threw that out there on Twitter, and we got some really interesting ideas coming up, so kind of having some fun with it.
All right, well, hey, Chris, any final words for the listeners out there, man?
No, you know, just keep your hands up and your chin down.
That's awesome, and there we have it, man. I appreciate it tons, dude. You showing up tonight. Thank you, ATG Radio, Chris Leben. Awesome time tonight, man. Thanks,
Great.
bro.